Hello, everyone. Richard Carlton here. Everyone see me? Miles, you guys see me okay? Hopefully, yes.
Yep.
Awesome. Very good. I appreciate it. Welcome to another awesome broadcast day. I'm Richard Carlton, creator of fmtraining.tv, where we do great FileMaker training every day. Last couple of days, we've been hearing from different people. Today, we're back with with Nick Hunter and myself, and I'm going to be there helping along. We got Miles Debsky, who's our broadcast engineer from Oregon. My computer, which was going to do the broadcast in Fairfield, decided to run every update, and it tried to shove Big Sur down my throat. I was like, yeah, let me just install the very first test experimental software experimental right now that FileMaker doesn't even work on. I'm like, no. I don't even know why. Did they ship it today? Did I miss the memo? They shipped it today. And as of right now, FileMaker doesn't work on it. So when Apple tries to jam it up my rear end, I don't like that. So today's conversation is on global fields. Nick Hunter's there. We got him back. He was in jail. He had to get sprung out of the courthouse and back to the rest of us here.
No, I'm not in jail. Actually, I'm out of jail.
Out of jail, yeah. So, which is great. We don't like him when he's in jail. It's all that, when he says he does lean design, it's too fast. They pull him over and write him a ticket. Then he gets in the cop's face about if you didn't suck so much, your cars would go faster and be more lean. So today's conversation is on global fields. It was designed to be more of a beginner conversation. What ended up happening, though, is I ran into a blog article that was posted by Apple or by Claris, and I kind of lost my mind. So I'm going to post this. I'm not going to show my screen right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to copy the link. Miles, I'm going to give it to you. Can you post this to everyone and all the links? This is a blog article, best practices for database administration, right? This is from Claris Engineering, right? Generally, when Claris Engineering says things, it's pretty good, pretty accurate. Either someone screwed up the writing or they are all high on drugs down there at Claris, because the article is grossly bad, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to give you, I'm going to copy this image here. Let me see if I can give it to Miles. He can post it. TK, if you can help a little bit, that'd be great. Miles, see if you can grab that image. It's a screenshot of the article. And basically in the article, it says that if you're a smart person and you know what you're doing, you will try to minimize use of globals. And that's what it says, global fields. They're talking about global fields. And I was like raising my hand going, hey, what's the deal with that, right? Why is that happening, or what's going on there with that? So why, right? So anyway, so I saw this and I went, Nick, am I stupid, or did something happen to Claris that like somehow global fields are bad? And what'd you say, Nick?
Okay, so I said it was true 15 years ago when we had a computer with in megahertz, okay? But nowadays it's impossible to measure the difference, and this article has absolutely no sense. It doesn't make sense at all.
Right, yeah. So I don't know if it was quoted out of context, or someone technical wrote it and then marketing got a hold of it and decided they, because I've had, when I wrote my first book, and we're working on the last book, I would write stuff and then my secretaries would decide they didn't like the way he said something, so they would rewrite it, but they would change the meaning. And so it's possible that someone who doesn't know anything about computers got a hold of the article and rewrote it. That would make sense. But when you have an engineer writing, sometimes you write things a very specific way. So global fields, I think the idea was to minimize the use of global fields and use variables instead, but each one has an appropriate use. So let's start at the beginning, Nick. Why don't you explain to us at the beginning, what is a global field and the difference between a global running on a local file and a global running on a hosted file?
Yeah, I'm going to just do that when I start my Launchpad stuff. So here, let me share my screen real quick, because I think that would be more interesting for people to see my screen instead of seeing my face.
Yeah, but you're so sexy.
Yeah, I know. So especially with my haircut, I need to definitely cut my hair. So global field, it's confusing for many people, because again, this is something that this is something that is coming from the very old time of FileMaker. Global field always existed, even in Nashoba. Global field was there since the version 1 of before Claris, the first era of Claris. Okay, so always been there. So a global field is somewhere where you can, so let me show you what a global field is. A global field, so let's say I have here a new layout, okay? And I'm going to put a global field here, okay? So I have a new layout and I have a global field here. This is a global field, okay? So this global field has, this field has the login, the current login user, okay? The ID of the user that is logged in the solution, okay? So this is the ID. It's a field, okay? It's a text field, you can see here, and it's a global because I put a G here. You know, this is
okay, let's rephrase that again. It's a global because I put a G here.
yeah. So I know
that's a bad sentence. Try that again. It's
okay.
I know it's a global.
I know it's a global because I put a G here when I put a global. So how? First of all, let's start with the beginning. You know, first the light. Okay, so that's the beginning. So, so to decide when a field is a global, you need to go to the database here. You go you double click on the field here. You go to storage and you decide that this is a global storage. Okay. And as I explained globally what it is, it can be also used as temporary storage, and you know, and it's a field that is the data inside is shared all across all record and all table. Okay, it's very important. It's context free and is record free. That means it's a field where you put something that is available all time, everywhere. Okay, so and this is where you decide when it's a global or not. Okay, of course. Okay, so when you validate this, okay, as a global, so now your field is a global. What that means? That means that I can create as many records that I want. See, I create record. You see, I have 20 records, 22 records here. The data here is the same. Okay. If I contrary to another, you know, non-global, okay, a non-global here. So I put a non-global field here, okay, a non-global. So what the non-global do, it's this, you know, it's a non-global. So when I put something, I have a record here, I put this, and in the next record it's not available because this is record-based, you know. So this is not a record, this is not a raw record, you know. So you need to, but this doesn't change. This will be there always, right? So this is how the global field works. So now within global field, you have a different type of global field. So because FileMaker files can be run on shared on the server, cloud, whatever, shared, or local. That means run locally in your computer, like I am now. Now my file is the FM Launchpad I'm using is located on my hard drive in my computer. I'm not on a server. So what that means? That means that if I have a global, let's say I'm creating a global here, okay? So I'm saying this is a global. I'm going to the storage and say, okay, this is a global. So now I have a global, okay? I have a global field here, okay? Global, okay? So what that means? That means locally, I put something here, okay? It's available to all records. See, hello world is there. It's available to all records. So if I'm presenting now, if I'm presenting this as a view, a table view, okay? If I'm presenting that as a table view, this is what I have. If I change one here, I say hello world, and I put 2 here, and I validate, bam, everything is hello world, okay? Because this is a global. Now here, it's not a global, see? So let's say I have hello world 2 here in a global, and I close the file, you know, and I reopen it, okay? I reopen it. What happened here? because my file is local, okay? Because my file is local, if I'm going there, there's a menu, okay. If I'm going there, the Hello World 2 is there. If my file, that means the global stays in the file. That means you close the file locally in your hard drive, you open it, you keep the global. Now, if the file was shared on server, this would have been lost. That means when you are sharing the file, the global field is no longer sticky. It doesn't stick anymore. So now, where you have, you know, I love my sentence, when you will get your ravioli in evolution, is because
so your ravioli, what?
Yeah, you get your ravioli in ebullition. Ebullition, you know, when you boil something, when you boil. Blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
Okay, so it's because you can mix both. Let me explain. Every single file in the life of the file, every single file life, you know, like you create a field, you create a file locally on your hard drive. You cannot create new in the cloud, doesn't exist. You can create new in the hard drive, and then you share later on. You upload, you know, you share, you upload later.
Just for clarity, there is a create new in the cloud, but it's kind of, you know, on the, it starts to be there, Nick. Just so you know, they're starting.
Okay, yeah, but it's not.
But it's not part of this conversation. But I just
no, you're right. No, you're right, because it's very, very new. So it's you're right. Yeah, boiling, exactly.
But mostly it's local. Mostly
net lobster. You boil the water and then you put the lobster inside. So and so let's say you create a new file. Let's do it. I create a new file. Okay, brand new, and I create new file. Hello. Okay. And I have a file global, a field global. Okay, so this is a global field. And I do this, okay? I do this. This is my new global. Oh, it's here. Sorry. This is my new file with a global. And I say hello, right? In the global. Now, I share the file as is. So this is local. Now I say upload, you know? I said upload to host, okay? If I upload and I host this file, I share this file on server, every single time that I'm going to log in this file, in this global, I will have hello, and I won't be able to remove it. Each time, if I do this, I relog, the global will stay again, will come like it was hello. If I'm sharing in that state, by default, always in the lifetime or in the lifetime of the file, the global it will return hello. And if I want to change it, I need a script that says remove it, because it will always get hello. So this can be great, because you can set, for example, let's say you want to set a lot of default values. Okay, you want default, right? So you pull down your file. You open it locally. You set up your globals with the data you want. You know, like for example, or you want 2020, for example, all the time. Let's say that the year you want 2020 all the time. Okay, so you do that locally. You change your global locally. You re-upload the file on the server. You share it again, and now all the time global by default will come 2020. So that can be. So that can have a double edge. It can have a double edge, because it can be great when you know how to manipulate it. Sorry. Or it can be a nightmare if you don't know it, and you say, why the hell always I'm getting this? You can stay years there to try to figure out. Say, go ahead, Richard.
Yeah, so the way I would phrase this is that when it's on the server, the globals will start out with whatever value was last contained when they were running as a single user. So they start off with that value. It doesn't mean it has to stay there, it just starts off with that value. And actually, the other part of that that's really important is, since it's shared, the globals that you have, as you log on, if I log on to it, I get 2020. Nick logs on to it, he gets 2020. I change mine to 2010. Nick doesn't see that. My globals are my own. So basically, FileMaker Pro will make a copy of the globals at the time we open it. They will give me those values, and then then I am totally independent of everyone else who might be accessing the file. So it's really great for that. Really great for that.
Yeah. That's why we use I can go. I'm going to show usage of globals. Globals are a huge part of the development in FileMaker development. That's why I feel this statement we start talking about at the beginning completely.
Can you click that link and bring that up real quick? Yeah. So I want to make sure people see that in the video. So if you have that, the Discord, it's probably in Discord. And so the rub is that so people go. So if you think about it objectively, where are you going to have a performance hit due to a global?
Where I need to go? I need to search for global.
Scroll down a little bit.
Yeah,
right there it is. There's a sentence right there. It's that first. Good custom app design improves performance through basically getting rid of global fields and unstored calculations. We understand about unstored calculations, but sometimes you want them unstored, right?
Yes, exactly.
I mean, so the sentence is really either it's misleading or it's wrong. I would say the way it's written, it's just wrong. But we're assuming that whoever wrote it didn't want to be wrong. They just, I don't know. I suspect that it was written by an engineer, and then someone who doesn't know anything about the software rewrote it to make it sound better on.
And they, I said, like I said yesterday, consulting with developers. I want names here.
This is implying that Claire's went out to some developers and the developers gave this information, and it's just wrong. The only time global fields actually have a performance penalty, and we're talking about shared here, shared on a server. This whole blog is about sharing it on a server, is if you had a bunch of globals and you stuffed a bunch of them with data when it was local, like a ton, like books of data, books, pictures, and all sorts of stuff, and then you hosted it. When the first person opens it is going to get all those global values dumped on their head. And so I guess, but that's such a weird scenario. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Really, not only that, but this statement is as stupid as saying that, oh, by the way, good custom app design improve performance through the minimization of scripts, because I can screw up, because I can screw up the solution with a script very easily right now, right? I put a loop that never ends, and I'm creating a loop that never ends, and I'm crashing your server.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I crash it completely. So doesn't make any sense. You understand? It's minimization of global fields, records, scripts, calculation. So pretty much minimization of FileMaker at a war. So I mean, don't use FileMaker, is faster. Yeah.
Don't use FileMaker, is faster. Okay.
It doesn't make any sense.
Do we have any questions? Miles Debsky, do we have any questions?
Yeah, we had when creating a global key field for a relationship where you want a constant global, always the same value, should they be using data or calculated value? And do they check off do not store results, calculate as needed?
Okay, so they're talking about using the global on one side of the relationship, right? So that's part of it. But then, can you go ahead, I mean, why don't you wire that up, Miles?
I can show that. I can show, because I'm using, so that's why if they said minimizing global field, that means I'm the worst FileMaker developer in the world, because you want globals. I have a table named global.
All right, so he's asking about the settings of the global field. Right?
Yeah. So I have an example here.
Repeat the question, Miles. Repeat the question.
Yeah, when creating a global key field for a relationship.
Yeah, here.
Should he be using data or calculated value? And does he check off the do not store results calculated as needed?
Where you said do not store results? Here.
Storage right there. See, I think he's mixing things up because once you select the global, that's not available down there, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So basically, if you do an auto enter, I mean, that's the thing with the globals. I mean, I guess, do you do auto enter with globals, Nick? I guess you do that.
Oh yeah, I'm doing that also often. Yeah, I think I can find easily. I'm using that global, but here I have a good example of what he was saying. For example, I have here, this is a thing that I'm selecting. I'm selecting a value, and then I'm selecting a value. Based on the value, I'm showing here the thing, right? So this button here is setting a global. Okay, so and this is why is so slow? Oh yeah, I'm sharing. I have plenty of stuff. So I'm setting a global here. Okay, and the global is I'm setting a global here. Set inspection. So hold on. I'm setting a global. It's the link prospect component selected. Okay, so this is a link. This is the here, this one. Okay, so this is a global that I'm going to use inside a relationship. That means this relationship here, the T22T has this global in. So each time that I'm clicking here, I'm setting a global with an ID. Then all of this now is linked to the ID on the global. Okay, so let me show the global here. Because I think that way makes the thing more discoverable. So if I'm putting the link here, the global, okay, so this is the global, and I'm putting each time I click here, I change the ID.
Yeah.
So let's say I copy, I see when I remove this, I don't have anything here, it's empty. If I click here, I have this one, but if I go here and I paste this one, now this one is, see? So each of those has an ID. I put the ID of that record here, and now based on this relationship here, I can have a relationship here.
But go to the field. Go to the global field definition and see how it's defined. Because I to be honest with you, I don't
understand the question. Oh, how you define? I have a set field. This is it's a script. When I click,
I know, but he's asking if you go into field definitions.
Yeah.
Go back. Go to field definitions. Slow down. You're going too damn fast. You're like warp 9. Slow down. I need you at impulse power only. Thrusters only. Open.
Okay.
Open. Okay. Right here. Do you put the data in the data so it says the checkbox with data, or do you do a calculated value? Right? Was he's asking. For me, I don't normally use either one of those because I set them with a script personally.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But in that case, I'm setting with a script because I want that one. So I don't know how you can make that with a calculation. It's not possible. I want that record. I want that record ID to be transferred to a global, and then here with that global, I can have a relationship, right?
Yeah. So I mean, me personally, I'm not as advanced developer as Nick is. With globals, I don't know that I use any validation or any auto enter because I manage them entirely with script steps.
In that case, yeah, even myself, you know, I use a script because it's based on something I click on. I click on this. I click on, see? So I need a script here. There's no other way that you can have the ID of this record, this related record to be transferred here. How you can do that with a calculation is impossible. So, yeah. But sometimes you can have an auto-entry calculation based on the global. Try to find one.
Based on a global or in the global?
Yeah, you know, I can have a global with a calculated value. Yeah, that
right. But
I think in user, I might have on user something that says global and calculated. It's rare. See, it's
pretty rare. I don't. Yeah,
it's very rare. I don't. Maybe in document, maybe. No, it's very rare, you know, because global are something you are setting. And actually, for example, I want to show the thing, something here interesting. When I start my script, you know, when I start my computer, the solution, okay? So let's close everything here. When I start the solution here, at the beginning, okay, when you click sign in, you know, when you say, okay, I'm Nick Hunter. You tap, you sign in. Then I have here, I'm loading the system. I call that loading the system. And then I define globals. Those are all my defaults, all the globals that needs to be set for a good, for my system, for the entire solution to work properly. For example, I want this to be request, result, request, result. I need that in the global. I need also, I want this, the selected crew to be one, the selected crew member to be one. I need all of those, and sometimes I need to make sure those are empty. See, those are global. I need to empty them, right? Or, so all of those are globals, okay? And I'm at the beginning, when I launch my system, I'm preparing my system to work properly. And I need that to happen.
So let me walk through this back up for those of you who are new. All the advanced people just disregard, but for the newer people, when he first opens the file, the script is going to fire. It's a startup script. But before it fires, these globals will all contain what the last value that was in them when Nick ran it locally, right? So it's on the server. He works on it locally, then he uploads it to the server. And so when you fire up the file for that split millisecond time in there before the script gets to down to this section here, because we open the file, and the first thing, it opens the file, and then the script starts running. And so this script starts running, but in this time between where it's setting it down here, in this time right here, those globals will contain the original values that were in it when it was running as a single user. So that's why he's forcing these to be set.
Yeah, not only that, but also because 99.99% of those fields has been created on server. So they never had anything on them, and I need that to be set. It needs that for them, the permanent. I need that to be that, so that it's right. Okay, you're right. That means sometime I want to make sure that I don't have what I call a garbage that is coming from the time where the file was living in locally, okay? But also those fields, most of those fields has been created while the file was living on the server, and they are empty. They're empty. So and I want something. I need something there. Otherwise, my system doesn't work.
No. I'm not saying not. Just understand that it's basically that we're overriding the default behavior. The default behavior is it might have something in it, or it might not have something in it. But I think as a good developer, you want to find all the globals that you depend upon and forcibly reset those on startup.
And to answer the question, because here the way I organize my startup is kind of cool, because you see what happened and you know where to look. Sometimes you have a very huge, big, fat logging script that you don't really understand what's going on after sometimes. So I split at what's called a subscript. So here, when you sign in, okay, forget about this stuff here, okay? When you sign in, you load the system. So what the loading system do, he set the field, okay, and then he performs script. I perform the defined value list. I perform the set globals. I perform the set variable. I perform the launch item. So is there all of those? I'm performing them one after the other. And as you can see here, I'm defining my value lists. I'm defining my globals. I set my variables, because I have global variables. So that is a good introduction to start talking about what the difference between setting globals and setting variable that are also global variable. Okay. So there's two things we are talking about today. We have global fields and global variables. They are two different things.
They clarified that the thing we were asked about before was not about setting a global in a relationship that would change, but a value you'd always have. So I guess it'd kind of be like an ID constant, but a global.
Yeah, somebody Agent Chevy.
Okay,
so mention that I have a that prove that people are looking my stuff. Thank you. I have a global with auto entry. I have a global with auto entry here. So let's see what happened here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. This is a typical thing that nothing like a chip. I like it. That is something definitely something I'm doing. I like to do because it helps me to you know, for example, let's say you have a field and let's say you have a whatever a user, for example, okay, and you don't want that to be empty. So when you create a new, you don't want that to be empty. And even when you clear the field, you want something here. So what I'm doing here, so it can be a global. Let's say I have a global. Let's say I'm creating a global field. Okay, I'm creating the field, and I don't want that field to be empty. When I want something by default, I want a default value. So you have two ways to do that. You say you put, and that what the question was from the person before. I can put something here in data. Okay. So I can say hello in data. Okay. So that's great. You put you have a global and you have a data at when you automatically enter the following data in this field. Okay. So that's what it's doing. So let's put that now. I have a global. Okay. This is my global. So far so good. And I don't want anything empty. So I create a new record here and I have hello. So this is a global field. Okay. So now I have hello everywhere. Everywhere I have hello. Okay. So, but that's great. That means every time you create a new record, you have something coming here. But I can remove it. I don't want that to happen. I want something else to happen. So I remove this. I don't want this. I don't want the hello here. I'm saying if is empty, self. That means self is the field I am in now. So maybe one day I will explain. If you want self, you can buzz. So is empty self. Okay. I said I want hello. Okay. Otherwise, if it's not empty, put whatever I put there. Okay. So if is empty, whatever in the field, put hello. Otherwise, whatever is in the field. Okay, that's what he's doing. So here what happened. So did I close? Oh, why? Okay, it went there. I don't know why. So now I create something. I have hello here, right? And if I said okay, I said this, fine. But now if I do this, I remove everything. I click outside. I have hello. I cannot have nothing. It's not possible. Okay, I can't have nothing. See? So you have a global. So what I've done here, why I have a global with auto entry calculation is because they are filters. I want something by default. For example, when you create something new here, I want all departments and then all cities to be there. I want that to be selected. Okay. So what I'm doing here, I'm saying, okay, I want, you know, whatever. If it's empty, put 1, or if it's empty, put 1. Yeah, 1, because I don't want that to be, it's a filter. So I want that to be, see all departments. I want this field, display department filter. It's a global, but I want something by default. I don't want that to be empty. That cannot be empty. Okay. So because if you empty it, it will automatically come back. The default value. If you put something here and then you say no, I want nothing, boom, you have the default coming. So that means your global always works. Okay, so that's what I want to say. So do we have any questions here?
No questions, just we got a bunch of buzzes for self.
Okay, yeah, because I know self, because you cannot use self everywhere. For example, if I'm going here in the data viewer here and I say self, it will insult me, treat me all names and stuff like that, right? It will say I cannot use it or something like this. See, this function cannot be used in this expression, right? So you don't understand why the hell I cannot use something in FileMaker, right? So Yeah, definitely we can, or in the script, for example, if you're in the script and you want to do like a set field or something like this, and you want, or variable, for example, you want to set a variable and you say blah, okay, you said this, and you say here you want to put self here, it will do beep, it's not working. So I'm going to explain that for you to you. So any other question? Filter self, blah 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 is great for phone number. Yeah, definitely. So let me explain before we go here why globals are great and why you cannot go to the next level of the FileMaker game. You cannot reach the level 2 if you don't master the globals. Okay, so it's because of what I'm going to show you right now. The advantage of globals is that they, as I said at the beginning, is that they are cross-table. Let me explain. If I go to my table here, I have a global table, okay? I have a global table here. If I'm going to my global table, I have all the globals. So you see, for example, I'm logged in as NH, Nick Hunter, okay? I have a bunch of G something, see? And I have the picture, by the way, because I'm logged in my profile. If I go in my profile here, okay, or if I go in my profile here, where is my profile? User. If I go in my profile, see, my picture is this. So to have the picture on every single, see, the picture is on every single layout. See, I'm changing layout. I have the nick and the picture. Always, always, always. I don't have a relationship between, I don't have the relationship between this layout, T45 walk order. I don't have a relationship to my global. I don't have. So, but I still can display data, because I'm set at the beginning. When I said, when I said my stuff here is I sign in. I'm setting a global here, like for example here, I'm setting the logged in user photo with whatever in my document photo I have, right? Yeah. Okay. So, and I'm setting the G, the global logged in user full name, and I have the first name and I have the initial, because sometimes I'm talking about Nick Hunter, but sometimes here I'm saying I don't want Nick Hunter, I want Nick here, Nick, the first name. I want the picture, or I want the initials, NH. So all of those are stored here in the global table, and they are available from anywhere without any relationship, okay? So because they are unique here, they are unique stuff. So you store something here. When you store something in the global, you can pick up this everywhere, okay? So that is great. Now, so now you understand the power of this, right? It's kind of great, right? So and sometimes you can use that as your advantage. I mean, you will say, okay, I want to transfer something to other tables, but I don't want to create a bunch of relationship for that, So you set a global, and then you go everywhere you want to go and reuse those, globals, right? So that's great, okay? Now, I want to show you something that is a little bit more advanced, but it's kind of cool to know too. Okay. Let's say in my system here, I have what I call a value list based on records. Okay. So I have my value list here. I'm typing here, and instead of going here and go to my value lists, I have value lists based on records, based on, see, I'm going here and I said value list based on record, okay? So, and the records are here. I have a table, a special table I call value list, right? So I have a table here value list, value list, val value list. Okay, so this is my table value list. Okay, so I have more my value list. Now, I want somewhere where I can get relationship to work, because each value list has an ID. Okay, and I want each value list to be available to me. Okay, so thanks to global. So I try to explain that in a profane language, right? You can have a relationship working between a global field and another table. Okay, you set up the relationship, and this relationship is available to you from anywhere. That means because I am setting this relationship is between a global field and another table, whatever field, but actually the foreign key cannot be a global field, only the parent key, not the foreign. You cannot have a global to global, doesn't work because of indexing and because it doesn't make any sense. Okay, so but from a global field you can have a relationship to another table. Okay, so because I'm using the global, I'm starting with the global table where I have all my global fields, and I'm setting those, and I'm creating records here. I'm creating a relationship here. So from anywhere, okay, I can get those relationships working from the value list. Okay, so I can't really explain as quickly like this. We need to have a session on the relationship based on globals. Okay, and I think this is the next next buzz. Relationship based on globals. How FileMaker manage the relationship when you have global involved, because this is completely different as a normal relationship. Okay, you go cross, and I want to have the value list involved. How we can have a session on both. Actually, it can be a 2-day session. Please, Miles or Richard, please note that 2-day session, global relationship and value list relationship, and how to use value lists with related records. Okay, because that will unlock a new level in your FileMaker development process.
Unlock new level. We need some graphics for that. We need some graphics. Unlock new level.
Yeah, exactly. Why here? For example, I'm using a bunch of globals. So why I'm using globals? Okay, because you don't want that to happen. Let's say another guy logged in the same file. Okay, another guy is logged in, and here what will happen if you don't use globals? The guy on the other side will see what you do. You see, it will do this. You click here, and the other guy will change also, because you don't use a global. Now, I'm using a global, so I can go and open again. Where is the, okay. I open the file again. Oh yeah, in the same FileMaker we cannot do that. Okay, let me use another FileMaker here. So I'm opening the file. No, skip version. I'm opening the file here, and log in again. So I'm logged in twice. Okay, twice. Same file, logged twice in 2 different FileMaker, and I'm going to the system here, and I'm going to the same thing. So I have 2 persons logged in on the same file. Okay. Well, oh, sorry. Yeah. So I'm selecting asset category, and here I'm selecting vendor timeline. See, doesn't change. What I'm doing, like you said, what I'm doing. So if I edit the layouts, and I'm showing the value list that I'm using here, which is the J something, J selected something, selected, or I don't remember which one I'm using here. It's the field name selected entity. Okay. So J's. Oh, that's why I was there. So selected entity. Okay, this one. So this is a global field that I'm using. So, and you can see now it will appear here too, right? Because I changed on the layout. So here I have 8EC7, and here I have DCF4. So I have two values on the same field. So now look at this. I undo the global. Okay, I remove the global. So first of all, it says, hey, will cause existing data to be lost, blah blah blah. Okay, yeah, okay, I understand. So now what happened? This.
I'm just, a bunch of you are emailing in asking to renew your memberships and your bundle memberships and stuff. And so if you want our bundle complete training bundle with everything on it, including a bunch of Nick stuff here, it's $249 for 1 year and $349 for 2 years if you're interested in that.
Yeah. So here what happened? No globals. Okay. You remember what I told you? What I'm seeing here, what I'm doing here, everybody logged in the system will see what I'm doing. They will see, oh, I'm in vendor. Or another guy said, oh, no, I'm in timeline. Okay, so now everybody's on timeline. So you understand? So if you don't use global, this technique of selecting things like this and then getting related records based on the selection and then get another related thing based on the selection, that doesn't work anymore because on the shared environment. Okay, that's why the globals are crucial in FileMaker development. So I don't understand this statement. Don't use global. It's like don't use FileMaker, pretty much. That's the same stupidity, and I don't understand why they say that. But I wouldn't be. Globals are extremely useful, and I don't know if you noticed in all my development, but I'm over abuse of globals. So that means that if the statement of FileMaker is true, I'm the worst developer in the world.
Yeah, you definitely suck, Nick. We're gonna have to hang up on you right now.
Yeah, I know.
So
globals are extremely valuable items, and you need to learn how to use that. Okay, yeah. And because you can do very cool things like this, right? You can see you select this, you have based on the selection, you have another selection coming here, and then you can create a new thing here, and then boom, you have this in your value list. It's there already, right? And you can even say, oh, I want that in the in the 7th position and stuff like that. So I reflow. So it's it's kind of cool. Okay, yeah, globals. So yeah. something popped to my mind yesterday, and because I was talking to somebody and about SQL. And so I'm jumping to another topic. Maybe one day I'd like to do a session about why I shouldn't use SQL in many ways. How pretty much how to get FileMaker to do what SQLs do. And guess what? I was thinking about this because it's extremely related to globals. And so I think we can do, the session that we talk about, the relationship based on globals. I will include in maybe a third day to explain how to replace SQL with globals and how to play with advanced relationship where you have multi-predicate relationship and like something like this. When you do something, this is too small. You have this, and then you have a multi-predicate, and you say, okay, I want the Cartesian link, but I want that to be difference, and I want that to be, inferior, right? And then you can also have the same kind of foreign key pointing to the same. See, I have the different parent key pointing to the same foreign key, or having the same foreign key pointing to different parents. Okay, so this is very useful. See, you can do that. So and globals are extremely at play here in advanced multi-predicate relationship, where you can completely ignore and forget about SQL statement. So I'd like to do that. So Moki said Nick is using relationship definition as a SQL query, which is exactly what relationship is. It's you know what I mean? This is exactly what the relationship in FileMaker is doing. But that's a way to use relationship. I mean, maybe you never even envision that you can use a relationship that way. So it's involved global. It's involved, I show you guys many times that I show you many times the multi-value. So you have a multi-value relationship into a multi-predicate relationship, which is another evolution of your ravioli here. But it's definitely something you need to learn if you want to go to the level 4, let's say. Not the, we were talking level 2 before with globals. Now you are level 4 in the game. But the main problem here about SQL is that FileMaker will always return to you a found set. That means a record-based, a bunch of records, when SQL will return kind of a dead text that you have nothing to do with. And most of the time, people are transforming the text-based data into a records-based data with virtual listing and stuff like that. That's what they do, right? They transfer, so they have a SQL statement getting a bunch of text, and then they retransform the bunch of text into a records. Where my philosophy says, why you do that? Why you don't get a bunch of records right away instead of doing this translation between raw text and back to record, right? So it's you can see your query in Moki and I, we can be friends on this. So yeah, I understand. Can say when you have a API, when you have a JSON, when maybe SQL execute SQL can be used, right? But actually, that's why I want to do that session about this. I'm not downplaying execute SQL or whatever. I'm not downplaying this, but I mean sometimes it is not necessary to learn and to use something that you don't master very well, because most of the developers, most of the people, they don't want to use SQL in FileMaker. They want to use FileMaker. That's why they are.
I think this gets back, like people say, what kind of server should I have? Should I have a Linux server, Mac server, Windows server? It's the same question. Should I use SQL or not? Okay, you should use what you're comfortable with. If you already have a background in SQL, then please feel free to go use that. But it's like, oh, well, the Linux looks really cool, but no one here at my office knows Linux, and I don't know Linux, but we really like a Linux server. Why? You need to make sure that whatever you get, you can support it. And so you have to have some sort of, FileMaker didn't build the MySQL stuff to have the brand new people or a lot of people learn SQL. They did it to placate some of the developers in the community who actually knew it already, and they could kind of leverage that. Does that make sense? So,
but the true reason, and that's true. I have this for first-hand information. The guy who wanted that was the kind of product management. Remember David Jacob?
Jacobson.
Eric Jacobson. Okay.
Yeah.
So
that was his baby.
Yeah, he wanted SQL. He wanted FileMaker to be labeled as a SQL software in all those What's the name of this training website?
Like Linda or something?
Linda, yeah, lynda.com. So he wanted that when you said you are SQL on Google, he wanted FileMaker to appear. Okay.
Yeah, well, he promptly quit and then went to work for Salesforce. So,
that's why we have SQL. I remember this SQL stuff was a huge battle internally because, and I was against it. It's not a mystery because we don't need it. So I was saying, let's make FileMaker to do like SQL, but not make not you know what I mean? Yeah. Let's make FileMaker like having. Why we don't? Do you know that we never had a single improvement in this relationship map here in this dialogue since FileMaker 7?
Yeah, it's been the same. Yeah.
Why we don't have something here? Why we don't have calculation, filtering? Why we don't have some options like distinct or unique? You know what I mean? Why we don't have those here? Why we don't have something more modern here?
Yeah.
Instead of now say So now they don't have to do that FileMaker because they say use SQL. The baby is not we give you the baby. It's not us anymore. We don't have to work. We don't have to do our work and do things So that's why I was against it. And anyway, I lost.
All right, Nick, are you good?
I'm fantastic.
Your ravioli is a blah, 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 blah. I don't even know what that word is.
And Kyle Williams is a SQL fighter.
Yeah, I knew as soon as you open that up, that's like talking about,
No, look,
I knew you. I'm not going to get into it right now, but I knew the fight would be on. I would have cautioned you against saying that, but okay.
I'm not going to trash anything. I'm going to show you how I'm using things, right? And then I let you choose I let you be the judge.
Yeah,
you want to
that's
keep
fine. And if you're a SQL person already, then use SQL, right? Once again,
exactly. But I don't want people to say, I need to use SQL because I must. No, you don't. That's what I want to demonstrate.
Okay. All right. Very good. I appreciate it. That's it for now. Thanks, everyone. Cue music. Miles. Or not. Miles. Cue music. I think you just checked out.
Guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected the quarterback. Great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Trying to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but then he makes the grab.